Fixing rotten wood, all down in there. Tearing out windows, putting in new, bigger windows. It's going to be good. Hey everybody, this is Bill with Live Simple, Live Free. We tore the deck off, started looking at all the rot down in there. And it's not as bad as what we expected, but it's kind of worse than what we expected. So, let me show you, here's what the plans of what we're going to do. Replacing rotten wood. This is where the deck was, and I've shown this several times before, all this rot. There is not a leak in the roof like we thought there was. Everything from here up is solid. The gutters were not cleaned out. This is a plug for cleaning out your gutters. The gutters were not cleaned out. The water came down, splashed over the gutters because they were full, onto the deck, splashed up onto here, and it's been that way for a number of years. That's why all of this is rotten. However, this isn't nearly as bad as we feared. This band here that goes on the outside is rotten, but the sill plate that it sits on is actually cantilevered back behind, so it's in good shape. And here's the end of one of the floor joists, and the floor joist is in good shape. And I can see that one, that's in good shape. So we don't have to jack the house up to replace that sill plate or the joist. That's really, really good news. All we have to do is just take off this rotten 2x10 band and put on a new one. And then right up in here, the plywood is rotted back maybe about 6 inches. So that's got to be replaced. Now all of this, we were hoping to save this window and rebuild this, but that's just going to be too difficult to try to rebuild it, just a portion of it down here, and make it look like it's not a patch. So, and also all of this, the T111 here, and I don't know what's going on the studs on the side of this wall. So we're going to have to take this off, probably rebuild this whole wall. But let me go inside and show you what we're planning with these windows. So here we are on the inside. Now this window looks okay from the inside, but from the outside you can see that the bottom 6 inches of that is also pretty soft. But over here, this is where the real problem is. You can see daylight right through there. And then we got that door there. Now that door is going to have to be eliminated because there's no longer going to be a deck out there. The deck is just going to be down there by the kitchen. So, there's me and Elizabeth, and there's Barry and Molly making the decisions together. And sometimes decisions by committee are difficult because two of us said that we should eliminate that door and put a window in because we need more light in here. And the other two said we just need to eliminate that completely because having a window right next to that corner would really look funny. So this actually is helpful with this rot there. We can't really fix that. We're going to eliminate that door, put solid wall there, and then we're going to put a regular full-size window that'll open. One right there and one over there on the other side. So we will remove these two slit windows and put in a 3 foot by 3 foot or 3 foot by 30 inches, something like that, one on each side of the fireplace. That'll give a lot more light, I think. You'll also be able to open them and get some wind coming through, some ventilation coming through. So that window will be eliminated. The door will be eliminated. There'll be a large window in here and a large window in here. And then over here now, it looks like we've probably found some French doors that are going to work. That'll be the double width with glass all the way down. So we'll actually be getting a fair amount of light in here after we get those bigger windows in. Okay, I'm very surprised and actually very happy. This is all the wall that from the outside looked rotten, but from the inside it's not. You can see right there, but the studs are all solid. The bottom plate is solid. They put this, I said earlier they didn't put any flashing, but they put this plastic here before they put the T111 on the outside, so that protected all of this. So there's still something underneath here in the wall, on the floor, that still needs to be replaced. I'm going to have to tear into that a little more and see what that's all about. But this is actually in much better shape than I feared it would be. You can see where that is all, the rotten part just fell out now. So now over here on the other side of the fireplace, there's a stud right here. I'm going to rip down right next to the stud to cut the sheetrock. I have to be careful not to cut too deep in case there's any wires back there I don't want to hit. You didn't know it was so easy to take a wall apart, did you? Okay, so now I'm ready to start framing for the new windows. So I'm ready to start framing in this window, but I'm very frustrated. When I was cutting out this sheetrock right here, I was using the Sawzall, and I thought I was holding the blade shallow enough that I wouldn't cut into any wires. But I got down here, and there's a wire, and I cut into it, and that's not going to work. It's going to have to be replaced. However, there's a receptacle right here. I'm going to have to put another stud right here anyway for the window, and I can't do that with this wire. So I was already going to have to undo that wire, put the stud in and drill a hole and put it back. So now I'll just have to replace that whole wire, which goes from there up to that switch. Just extra work because I didn't go shallow enough with the blade. Very frustrating. So I turned off the circuit breaker for this circuit. So for right now, I'm just going to cut the wire, get it out of my way. Now I can put my stud here, and then I just have to rerun that wire. Replacing this wire that I accidentally cut. I've got the other stud in here now and got the hole drilled through it. So this is going to work. Now I have this window all framed in and ready to go. I've got the window right over there. But I can't cut this out and install it yet because we have an issue on the outside. So I've shown you all this rotten stuff on the outside. I'm going to be able to replace all of this with good wood. This is the problem. This wood siding is called T111. It was very popular in the 70s. In fact, when I first started construction, started building when I was a teenager in the 70s, every house that we built, that's all we used was T111. Problem is, this is no longer available anymore. Nobody uses it. We can't find it anywhere. So we can't replace this with something similar. We're going to have to figure out what we're going to do because it's not available. So what do we do? So we're taking out that window and that door. So we have to do something to fill that in. And then of course all the rotten wood in here. And then we're also taking out this window. The big window that I'm putting in is going right in there. And another one right in there. So what we're going to do is take the T111 from this side, take it off, and use it to repair that side. So that's why I don't want to cut that window in, because I would cut a hole in that siding. But as it is right now, we're going to have to use something different because they don't make the T111 anymore. As it is right now, we would have something different over there, and then here as well. So by moving the good pieces of T111 over here, then that side will all match, and then we'll only have one section, basically from the chimney over to the door, where we have to have something different. And we'll try to come up with something that complements the T111. But that's the issue. What do you do when you're trying to repair and replace and the parts are no longer available? So I don't know when we're actually going to get to this. You're going to have to keep watching future videos to figure out what we do about replacing the T111. Also, I'm waiting on this for a while because since it's up so high and I'm taking these pieces off, that's too much for me to do by myself. I need help. And Barry's off on his other job this week, so we're going to have to wait until he comes back so we can tackle this together. Everything's better together anyway, right? So we continue to work outside as well. When we purchased this from the estate, it had been standing empty for at least a year and a half. We don't really know, since the woman that owned it died. So we negotiated with the lawyer that was handling the estate to make sure that the septic system was working properly and certified that it was, up to standard. And so they had a septic company come in and look at it. Turns out the septic tank was okay, but then the pipe leading out of the septic tank to the distribution box was the ADS 4-inch corrugated pipe, which is totally wrong. And the distribution box was too small. So they dug it up, put in a new distribution box, and put in the correct Schedule 40 pipe. So now here they backfilled it, but then they didn't grade it and finish it. So now I'm just grading everything off and seeding it to make sure it grows back properly. And then this is the spot near the driveway where we removed that big cedar tree, and we used a stump grinder on it to get rid of the stump. So now I'm just grading and seeding that area as well. So we finally have the kitchen plans finalized. In fact, we put a deposit down yesterday for the guy who's going to make them. They're going to be custom made, custom installed. That way it's just out of our hair. Somebody else is taking care of it. Stuff at Lowe's and Home Depot and stuff, we couldn't quite find what we wanted. So we're very happy and excited about having these custom cabinets. So we're going to have cabinets all across the back wall there. Right here is going to be a big island. It's going to have the sink here in the island and the dishwasher. The island is going to be 9 feet this way. When we leave enough walkway over there on the other side of the island, that leaves the walkway right here is a little bit too narrow. So we don't want to eliminate this. This is either a coat closet or a good pantry. So what I'm going to do is put the door at an angle. So instead of being this long, it'll be this long, this way. Add a little bit of interest, still keep the closet, but make this walkway wide enough between the island and the wall. So now I've got this bevel cut on here, it gives me the angle, and I have this little leftover piece right here. Now here's the cool thing about this. The bevel cut on the 2x4 gives me flat against here, gives me the angle that I need for the door, and then this little leftover piece fits right in there and fills the gap and gives me a solid corner there for the sheetrock. I love how that works. So I had to cut the angles on here to get that to fit properly. So there's the new closet door or pantry installed at an angle. You can see the angle right here. It's all ready to go for sheetrock. We have quite a bit of sheetrock we're going to do in this house. So I'm not going to do this now because we'll do the sheetrock all at once. So I suspect that many of you viewers will love what we've done here and many of you will hate it. Tell me what you think. Is this good or bad? It's the only way we could figure to keep the closet here and still make room right here for the walkway between this and the island in the kitchen. And personally, I think that, you know, everything just square houses, square walls is boring. And just adding a little bit of a offset angle here adds character, adds interest. Personally, I like it. So now, obviously the work is ongoing, but this video is not. It's getting long enough. I'm going to end it here. Thanks for watching. Live simple, live free. You be blessed. And who knows what the next video is going to be. You'll have to watch to find out as soon as I figure it out. See you next time.